Alright, I am here with Allie's dad, Doug Zirkle, and we are working on our design and development for the sled configuration for the new Denali doubles race. And I've asked Doug, I said, so, can you take us through? What's the strategy here?
We had a meeting a couple of days ago of all the brain trusts for SB Kennel, and it was decided that due to the fact that we have to have two drivers, the weight limitations will require that we will have two sleds rather than having both drivers ride on one sled, which would not allow room for carrying either meals or for carrying tired dogs. So we will have two sleds. It means one has to pull the other. Normally one would pull the second sled by a line passing under the first sled. The problem with that over a long distance is it's a trip hazard for the driver of the first sled. It could also get caught under the runner, which would then create a tremendous amount of drag. So we created a sort of Star Trek type structure here on the rear end of the sled. The purpose of this is simply to attach a line to the second sled so that we can pull the second sled directly behind the first sled. One of the things that we aim to do on this is we do not want to have an injury hazard for the driver if the driver were to inadvertently put their foot down here or try to pedal and a bar were coming across here. It would be a hazard to the driver, would catch the foot under the sled, causing some damage to the limb. So we have cantilevered this structure out in this fashion, made out of simple aluminum that we were purchased at Home Depot.
Okay, so here's the lead sled and the lead musher. Now show us how we're going to connect the second sled to it.
The second sled will be attached by a bridle, which instead of running to the front of the sled, will be running back to the first set of stanchions. The reason for this is for dog maintenance. Sleds have a tendency to bounce up and down as they go over bumps and moguls. Every time they bounce up, it's effectively pulling back on the gang line, which then, of course, could give you some shoulder problems. What we're trying to do is allow the sled to go like this over the moguls, over the bumps, without creating this big backlash on the gang line. In order to keep the sled from pushing forward into the front sled, we've installed some pipes down here, lightweight pipes, which will effectively act as a brake, making certain that this sled doesn't override this sled should something unforeseen happen, and the sled will be able to go up and down,
and
without pulling back.
And instead of the line being caught at the brush bow and being held down, the sled will get to pivot back toward the middle.
You can maintain the forward pressure on the sled without putting a great deal of backward pressure as a result of the moguls.
Very ingenious. All right, what we have here is the first test flight of the double sled configuration for the Denali doubles. You can see that Alan's in the front there shooting up and Doug's in the back, and they've got their little contraption right there that's got the sleds hooked together. So we'll just see how this works. All right, see ya. There it goes. Well, so far so good.